What's up, everybody? Welcome back to one of my other videos, and today we're gonna be talking about the Zoot riots. Okay, I'm gonna be making an educational video. Hopefully, y'all do enjoy those. The last one I did was what's the difference between Chicano and Cholo. You really like that one, so I'm gonna make another one. So this is gonna be the Zoot riot. Before we begin this video, hopefully y'all do enjoy this video, and remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment down below, share it with your friends and family, and just comment down below any ideas you want to see in this YouTube channel. I receive a lot of ideas on Instagram in the comments down below, and make sure you follow my Instagram. It's down in the description. Alright, so we're gonna start with the Zoot riots educational video. So let's begin. The Zoot riots was a series of conflict that happened on June the 3rd to June the 8th on 1943 in Los Angeles, California. All right, so that's the definition of the Zoot riot. It's telling you in short terms what happened. There was like a war between the Anglo-American people and the Mexican-American people in Los Angeles, California at that time. So you're asking me, when did it happen? Like when was this happening, right? So it happened during the World War II. Okay, so the Anglo-American serviceman, that's the U.S. Navy, was stationed to Los Angeles at that time, to Los Angeles. They used to attack us just because the way we dressed, because it's a lot of things. So mostly the one reason that they used to attack us was because the people living there at that time, the civilians living in Los Angeles at that time, they said that the crime level has risen up because of the Mexican-American youth. That is because of their gangs, of whatever you want to say. That was because the Mexican-Americans were living there. That's why the crime raised up. So you're asking who was like messing with us, who was beating the Mexican-Americans at that time. So the people that were beating the Mexican-Americans at that time were the Anglo-American servicemen, the police officers, and the Anglo-American people living there. That is the white people, the American people, you can say. All right, so in that time, most Mexican-American men were drafted to the military to go fight in World War II. That is in the front lines overseas to go fight. So basically, a lot of women stayed back home in Los Angeles. A lot of women stayed here, and the children stayed here. So you can say the fathers went to go fight at the war. So that leaves a lot of women alone here in Los Angeles by themselves with their children. So you can already imagine what happens next. Back home in Los Angeles, most Mexican-American women were being raped, sexually harassed. There were all type of stuff was happening to them. The people doing those kind of messed up stuff was the Anglo-American serviceman, that's the Navy, and that was the residents there. The police too. They were the police, the residents, the Anglo-American people living there, and the Anglo-American Navy, the servicemen at that time over there, they were sexually harassing the woman, and they were raping the women that were living there. So that's kind of messed up if you ask me. So that's what happened when the men went over there to fight in World War II. So that's pretty messed up what happened. But the youth made a lot of changes because of that situation that was happening with their moms, their aunts, their grandmothers, their sisters. So yeah, the Mexican-American youth did something to try to stop that. What the young Mexican-Americans did, they united together, and they organized a little group to stick together to protect their moms, their sisters, their aunts, their grandmothers, you name it, to protect them from getting raped or sexually assaulted or harassed, you know. You can basically say that they started their own little gang to protect their community, their parents, their family, right? So they started for a good reason. So that was the best thing that they could have done. I mean, if you ask me, I would have done the same thing to protect my mother, my sister, my grandmother, my family members that were women, to protect them from the police, the Anglo-American people, from getting raped. So a lot of that happened. So So one night, so some Mexican American youth, the pachucos, they saved a Chicana's life. So 4 Anglo-American servicemen, they were sexually harassing a young Chicana. So the Mexican American youth, they started beating up 4 Anglo-American servicemen. So once that happened, the Anglo-American servicemen, they went and told the whole community, the whole Anglo-American community, what had happened, that they attacked them, that they were beating them up. So the Anglo-American community got so mad, they got so pissed off that they started to attack us just by, let's say we're walking down the street, they just attacked us because of that incident. So that's basically how it all started. Like, it started getting worse after that. So let me get into it too. That happened, that we beat up the 4 Anglo-American servicemen. The community, if they used to see a young Mexican American teenager or a kid walking down the street wearing a suit, you can say wearing a Zoot suit, they would have gotten arrested. They would have gotten beaten up. They used to take their clothes off and burn their clothes in front of them. They would beat us up with some sticks. They used to beat us up just because we were wearing the Zoot suit, and because of the incident that happened with the 4 Anglo-American servicemen. So that's basically how it all started and how they were treating us because of that event. They used to beat us up. They used to take us to jail. They used to burn our clothes in front of us. They used to beat us up. You could just be at a restaurant eating with your friends, and they used to come in and beat you up and then rape the women, right? You could have been at a bar. You could have been at a movie theater. You could have done all those normal stuff, but they just saw you, the serviceman or the police or the residents living there. They just to see you just wearing a Zoot suit, and they just being Mexican American. You just got beat up for that. So that's pretty messed up. So let's get to the next part. And the most messed up thing was that the Americans used to hunt the the Americans with Mexican descent. They used to just hunt us down like we were animals. Like we were their prey basically. So they just see us at the street and used to beat us up, throw us down in the street. We were like basically like animals living here, right? So that's messed up. And then the serviceman and the racist mob and all the community of Anglo-American people went into neighborhoods. They started going into neighborhoods and attacking us. Now they enter East Los Angeles, East Los, right? They enter the neighborhood called Bowley Heights. Most of y'all do know what neighborhood that is, right? You see it in a lot of movies and in the social media. Beautiful neighborhood, right? So they used to go to that neighborhood, inside the neighborhood, and just attack anybody with that were Mexican American. They used to attack us all Mexican. If you were just Mexican, they used to come into you could have been outside your house and they just attacked you. You know, they just attacked you. And the most messed up part is that the police used to watch everything. They used to watch the serviceman, the Mexican, they used to watch the Anglo-American serviceman and the Anglo-American community beat us all up, and the police did nothing to stop it. The bad thing is they used to join on that. The police used to beat us up too. So instead of the police helping us, they were harassing us too. They were beating us up. They were hurting us. They were doing all kinds of stuff, raping the woman. They were doing all kinds of stuff, you know. So I asked myself, and like, why didn't the police help us? You know, the police was supposedly meant to help people, and it is still today. I mean, there's some good cops and there's some bad cops, you know, like everything. There's always good or bad of everything, of all race or whatever. There's always good and there's always bad. So, but the police they're supposed to be good and help their citizens that living in that area. So instead of helping us, they were helping the bad people, you know, beat us all up and just harming us. That's just between the Mexican American and the Anglo-American teenagers lasted for over a week. It lasted it lasted a whole week of them beating us up. So imagine that. Imagine where you live. Imagine you lived in California, in Texas, and wherever you live. Imagine you live and they came to your neighborhood and started attacking people for a whole week. And you couldn't do nothing to stop it because they were white. You know, once you're like, you know, they had the power to do it. At that time, they used to have the power to control everything, right? So, I mean, there were police, there were servicemen. You couldn't do nothing to stop them, right? You kill them, it's gonna go back for you and the whole people. So you can't do nothing to stop him. You can't hurt the police. You can't kill a policeman. You can't punch a policeman or a serviceman. That's the worst thing you can do, even today. So I imagine myself imagine living in your neighborhood and then just the serviceman or navies and then the policeman and the white people come and attack us all. That's for a whole week. That's pretty bad. So yeah. That is pretty bad that happened, but let's go. We have a lot more to talk about. So after a whole week passed by of them beating us up, of beating up the Mexican American teenagers, the city of Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles came to an agreement saying that they all outlawed the pachuco style. So anybody who was caught wearing a Zoot, basically anybody that was Mexican was caught wearing a Zoot suit was either they were arrested and they were registered as a gang member. So you were registered even if you weren't in no gang, you were registered as a gang member just for wearing a Zoot suit, and you were thrown into jail. You know, that's kind of sucks. I mean you can't even wear what you want to wear anymore. That's kind of sucks. So that happened. So many teenagers weren't even in a gang back then. You know, they weren't even in a gang, but they dressed supposedly like a gang member. You know, like a Zoot suit. They dressed their Zoot suits, and they were automatically registered as a gang member, even if you weren't in no gangs. It was just a big style. It was really big back then, and all the teenagers loved the style. They loved the pants, the shirts, the shoes, the chain, the hat. Everything. They loved everything, so they used to wear it, you know? So it's like today. There's trends. There's trends here, there's trends there. You know, there's trends. There's some pants. Everybody starts wearing them. There's some shoes, and then it was just like that, but back then. So today, like, you can wear whatever you want. You won't get harassed by a white person. I mean, in this world we live in, you could, you know, but it's not like back then, if you understand. So yeah, many teenagers used to wear the Zoot suits because it was classic, you know. And then another fact was that the teenagers loved to dance. They used to love to dance. They loved to dance to music. So they used to wear so as you can tell, the Zoot suits, they're baggy. They're baggy pants. They're all baggy, you know. So the baggy pants, they used to wear their baggy pants so they could dance. They could dance around they could move all type of way, you know. If you have a chance, go to YouTube and put pachucos dancing. Man, this is the best, you know. I wish I could dance like that. So they used to be able to move around. They used to jump. They used to throw themselves on the floor because they have baggy pants. You know, you can move all around when you have room, when you have space, right? So that's what people used to wear. But you know, if you wear that in Los Angeles at that time, you used to get registered as a gang member and thrown into jail. All right, so that event, the Zoot riot, it didn't break the Mexican American the spirit. It didn't depress us, you know. I mean, it was super sad, but it's still kind of messed up, you know. Until this day, they still harass all Mexicans, you know, in the United States. But in fact, that situation, it got us stronger, it got us smarter. We united as a community to help one another and try to survive Los Angeles, California, you know. So yeah, many pachucos that were in the riots and everything, they ended up serving for the military, for the U.S. military. And then some other pachucos became activists and started the Chicano movement. So many of that has to there were some pachucos started the Chicano movement, if you didn't know that. So, I mean, I'm not going to talk about the Chicano movement right now because that's for a whole nother video. But somebody did comment on my other educational video. They said to do a Chicano movement. So, I am going to do a Chicano movement. So, stay tuned on that. So, yeah. The Zoot riots has a lot to do with Chicano movement, believe it or not. But, yeah. That's basically what the Zoot riot was about. But I'm going to tell you some other facts if y'all didn't know, alright? So, the Zoot suits, let's talk about what they wore, right? The Zoot suits, a lot of people think the Chicanos embrace that culture, that style, that estilo. But no, actually, the African Americans started wearing that first in Harlem. It was used by a lot of the jazz singers over there in Harlem. So that was back like in the 30s, right? They used to wear the Zoot suit, so we got it from them. So if y'all didn't know that, because a lot of people saying the pachucos, they started the Zoot suit. Actually, the African Americans are the ones who started it. So that's a fun fact if y'all didn't know. Many famous African American people were it. Like if y'all know Malcolm X, he used to wear a Zoot suit. Cope, I think his name was, Cope Calloway, he used to wear a Zoot. He was a jazz singer too. So they used to wear the Zoot suits, you know, and they used to look real good on them, you know. It was classic. It was just a Zoot suit, man. It looked super nice. But they're really expensive though nowadays. Let's talk now about what did the pachucos listen to when they were at parties or they were just dancing in general, right? So the pachucos mainly they used to listen to jazz, they used to listen to swing, they used to listen to, and blues, you know, jazz, swing, and blues. That's mostly what they listened to. When they were dancing, they were at parties, they were with their friends, they were with, you know, family members. They used to listen to all those type of music. They keep you moving, you know. If y'all don't know what blues are, what swing is, what jazz is, just search it up on YouTube, put swing music, like put classic swing music, and it will pop right there. That's what it was, my bad. That was what the pachucos used to listen back then. You know, it's really good music, man. That music is one of the best musics. It's really good music. And another fact that I really like is that the pachucos, they used to talk their own language. It's basically that only pachucos understand what they were saying. That was the thing. Most people know it as Spanglish. Most people know it as Pachuco language, Cholo language, all that, you know. But I don't know. I'm pretty sure it is named like that. It's called Kalo language. So that's how I say it. Many people say it too, but not a lot of people know about Kalo language. So the language they used to talk was Kalo language. This is a fun fact that somebody told me years back. I don't know if it's true, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is true. So the pachucos, they made up their own language. They used to talk like that. So the servicemen, so the police, and the Anglo-American residents, people, they didn't understand what they were saying. So let's say the police stopped them, they could talk to one another and saying, hey bro, like don't like watch your back, man, there's police. You know, they used to talk to one another. So the police, when they heard them, they're like, what are they saying? You know, I don't even know what they're saying. So that was their own language. They used to talk to one another, and you know, only they could understand. So I am gonna make a whole nother video on Kalo language specifically. So stay tuned on that one. That video is gonna be nice. There's a lot of words that you probably didn't know, and they have a certain meaning, you know. So I'm gonna be talking about Kalo language pretty soon in another YouTube video, because I don't want to make this video super long, so I can't put that out at the same time. You know, it's gonna be super long. I'm not gonna finish. And then, I mean, it's just, that was basically the Zoot riots, you know. It's a lot of stuff that happened to it. I'm never gonna be finished if I talk everything, you know. But yeah, if you have any questions, like you want just curious about the Zoot riots, just send me a message on my Instagram. My Instagram, it's at jjimmy.713. just it's down in my description down below. Just ask me, and I'll answer your questions if I can. The Zoot riots, gladly, nobody died. Nobody really died, but there was 115 plus people that were injured, and there was 500 plus people that were thrown into jail. They were arrested. So that's crazy. Imagine just getting 500 plus people and just arresting them because they were Mexican Americans, and then they harmed, like, I don't know what, like 200 people. It was 150 plus. We don't really know how much people. I don't think we will ever know. But just it's between those numbers, and the people they harmed and the people they took to jail at that time. Another thing that's super big in the pachuco culture is the Sleepy Lagoon murder. A Sleepy Lagoon murder happened on August the 1st, 1942. That was a year before the Zoot riot. So the Sleepy Lagoon murder and the Zoot riots are way different. They're way, way, way different. They're the same thing, but they happen on a different year, It really nothing different about it. So at that time, también, we still got harassed. We still got it was basically about race, and it's still about race to this day. It's everything about race. Just because you're Mexican American, you're Mexican and you live in the United States, you get looked by other type of people and saying, man, let's say like you enter a store, and just because you're Mexican, they look at you. They be like, hey, bro, keep an eye on that dude, keep an eye on that kid, on that man. You never know, they can steal, So that's pretty sad, But yeah, let's get. I'm gonna try to explain the Sleepy Lagoon. Well, the Sleepy Lagoon murder was the death of Jose Gallardo Diaz. That was the guy who died. Who died in that incident. My bad. The incident was, if I'm not mistaken, they were at a party at night. It was a night before, and then, I think they had into a little argument. A lot of people say it was gang related. Other people say it was another thing, or we don't know, But it's saying they were like in a fight, and then they started fighting, and somebody died, At that time, nobody. I think somebody knew who killed him, but not. Just a lot. It was a lot of people, So they got into like a rumble, and somebody died. So the dude who died was Jose Gallardo Diaz was the dude who died that night. All right, so Jose was discovered unconscious and dying near a swimming hole. That swimming hole was called the Sleepy Lagoon. So that's why it's called the Sleepy Lagoon murder, because Jose Diaz died there. So Jose Diaz was Jose Gallardo Diaz. I think Jose Gallardo Diaz was found that the morning after the party. He was found with 2 stab wounds and a broken finger. The broken finger they found in August. It was on August morning. That happened in August, so it was the morning after the party. So after that happened, the police automatically, once they found out that somebody died, they automatically blame it on the 38th Street Gang. So 38th Street Gang was very popular back then. I mean, it still is popular, But back then, that was the biggest of the biggest gangs, So they immediately thought the 38th Street Gang has killed somebody, right? So they blamed them. Everybody started blaming them. But the police questioned about 600 Chicanos, young Chicanos. They questioned them, saying what happened, because they were at the party last night. That night, that night, 600 Chicanos were at that party. So the police questioned them, telling them, what did you saw? What do you think happened? So you already know what goes from there. Started talking to the police and whatever. I think it was 17 boys were convicted by the Sleepy Lagoon case. So 17 boys were kept in jail because of that Sleepy Lagoon murder. So, that was super bad. 17 boys were accused of the murder. And you're asking, who did the murder? Who was the person who killed Jose Gallardo Diaz? So that guy who killed Jose Gallardo Diaz was Robert Bobby Tales. Robert Bobby Tales was the one who who killed Jose Diaz. So yeah, that is the Sleepy Lagoon. I'm just gonna keep it. I don't want to talk about it too much because, you know, like I said, this video is not gonna end. But remember, if you want me to make a whole video, another video of the Sleepy Lagoon murder, I will make one. But I'm pretty sure I did cover everything. But yeah, that is that. Hopefully y'all did enjoy the video. Hopefully y'all did learn something about it. If you have anything else to put to this educational video, comment down below or send me a message to my Instagram and I will read them. And yeah, hopefully y'all did learn about this. My main purpose on teaching everybody, and I'm not gonna teach everybody because a lot of people already knew it, you know, but I just want to teach people out there because they don't put this out there in schools, you know. They don't teach you this in school. Like, I mean, it happened here in the United States, so I mean, if you ask me, they should teach Mexican American, you know, Mexican American history in history class, you know. But I mean, sad but the truth, they don't. So I'm just trying to teach the Mexican American people out there. You already know. So if you don't know about the Zoot riots, well, here you go. I'm trying to teach everybody, you know. Everybody who don't know, I'm trying to teach them. So yeah, hopefully I did enjoy this video. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Comment down below any more YouTube ideas you want to watch. Follow my Instagram for more. And remember to share this video and have a good day. Peace.